And it's lights out and away we go. A wonderful start by the McLaren of DeGrom there, already into the lead. The Alfa Romeo is now having the best start, and that's Aston Martin climbing into P2. Absolute savage right on the back of the Alfa Romeo. Once again, the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull going at it, but the Red Bull losing a lot of time, and the Mercedes catching up to the Red Bull. Diego with a beautiful start there. He's climbing positions as he did in Greece, but the Sevens then leads this race from DeGrom, from looks like the other McLaren. Everybody goes across the bumps there, and entering what's going to be Sector 2, the Alfa Romeo looks to be holding on to P2. The Sevens then leads this race. Purple sectors are on the board. Epic in P2. Diego, wonderful start by him. He's in P3. They're going 3 wide. And Diego doesn't back out, and he just loses a lot of time and loses a lot of positions. That Diego on the hard compound tires. He's looking for a good strat here. Catching up to Alex, and from what it stands now, it's a McLaren 1-2, followed by the Aston Martin. DeGrom is caught by Caleb. Caleb now very close to the Sevens. Water still on the track. The Sevens. How long can she put up with the Aston Martin? And Caleb goes very wide. Flips over his Aston Martin. The car is still running. The Sevens losing a lot of positions. I mean, not the Sevens, Caleb losing a lot of positions there. Here we go then. McLaren versus McLaren. DeGrom versus the Sevens on lap 3 of this Hungarian Grand Prix. We can see the Red Bull just behind them. Exiting those corners, I should say. The Sevens gets a little bit caught out. Entering these pairs of S's, not normally the best overtaking zone. DeGrom, though, takes it to his advantage. Tries to push the Sevens to the outside. The Sevens has none of it. Entering what's going to be closer to this third sector. Passing the S's. The Sevens seems to be in the lead of the race, but no, that's DeGrom. DeGrom ahead by just a millimeter ahead of the Sevens. The Sevens gets on the throttle much earlier. The Sevens down to lead the race, but DeGrom, straight line speed, slipstream behind the McLaren. How much longer can the Sevens go? DeGrom pushes it around the outside, late braking. Beautiful move. Sevens tries to come back, can't do it. They try to switch around. DeGrom on the back track there because the Sevens seems to have taken the lead of the race. And going back to this little fight here, DeGrom getting caught by Diego, and not too far up the road is the Sevens. The Sevens is just entering that pair of S's. You can see the Mercedes in the background following that McLaren so closely. No mistakes into the S's for Diego. No mistakes into the S's for DeGrom either. Hard compound tires versus the medium compound tires. Diego will be having more grip. Fresher tires, and DeGrom tries to fake out Diego. Doesn't work there. Diego says, no thank you. My tires are quite fine. Diego keeps on going. ERS open for him. DeGrom tries to swerve. He takes it to the inside on this one. That's going to switch to the outside. And Diego is going to be forced to take the outside. Switches to the inside. Does Diego. DeGrom is forced wide. Diego is entering that back stretch, and DeGrom is on the fringes of the barriers there. DeGrom switches, tries to switch back into the inside. Can he make a lunge into the corner? No, he doesn't. Diego stays ahead of the McLaren. The Sevens, which is with a tighter line into that corner, stays ahead. But for how much longer? Because Diego is now going to switch to the inside. The Sevens takes to the outside, entering this pair of S's. And Diego staying further back. He's going to try to pounce once these two exit pair of S's. No, not worth trying to make a move into the S's, but Diego sets up the move and tries to pass the Sevens. The Sevens stays ahead. Diego is entering the corner, and Diego goes a little bit wide, and the Sevens is on the back foot now. Yellow flags. And who could that have been? And that's Caleb. And Diego into the pits. Diego is into the pits. He will exit the pits just behind DeGrom from what it seems like, or the Sevens. And DeGrom entering the front stretch, the main stretch, the Sevens. Right behind him, DeGrom. Diego just exiting the pit lane. Diego stays ahead of DeGrom. DeGrom is going to try to make the move. He does make the move. Warmer tires on DeGrom in that McLaren. Manages to make the move, but fresher tires for Diego. He's on the inside. DRS will not be open for this occasion. Diego, he's managed to stay ahead of the two McLarens. And DeGrom could not have done anything on that occasion because Diego is now going to be powering his way into P1. What happens there? Moving on to Epic, the battle for the Alfa Romeos, and Epic. Very wide through there. Alex says thank you very much. Moves into what is P5. But Epic, wonderful pace from him. Storms back into P5. Alex, with the tighter line, switches to the outside and gives his teammate the space. Epic is much faster space on the straights. Epic retains P4. And Epic, once again, fighting off Absolute Savage in the Red Bull. Absolute Savage is going to try to make the lunge on the outside. Horrible race for the championship leader. Absolute Savage, faster on the straights than Epic and the Alfa Romeo. Epic is going to try to fight this one. Going to try to run Absolute Savage wide. Absolute Savage has none of it and sticks his car into the inside line. Takes P5 from Epic. And that was very, very wide from the Red Bull into the grass. Epic can't do much on this occasion. Slips down into P5. Diego is yellow flags again. This time it's caused by DeGrom. Oh, and that's not going to be good for DeGrom. DeGrom losing his front wing. Ooh. Unlucky for DeGrom. And it's confirmed 5-second time penalty for Diego that he will serve at the end of the race, added to his finishing time. But as it stands right now, he won't need to worry about that at all because he's 25 seconds ahead. And that's a yellow flag. And that's Alex out of this race with not many laps to go. And we are rolling once again in Hungary for the final time before the winter break. And hopefully for the final time, we're going racing once again. Green flags. Diego, beautiful start by him. Already almost a second ahead of the McLarens. The McLaren's now having a great start, but DeGrom catching Diego. Diego slams that door shut. Diego is going to try to make the most of this one because DeGrom. Ooh, Diego going a little bit wide. And DeGrom uses that, takes the lead of the race. DRS open for him. Diego, is he going to try to fight this one? He's going to try it. DeGrom swerving to break the slipstream. And, ooh, Diego. Everyone bumping as a result of the sausage curbs. Diego, 5 seconds added to his time. He's going to be dropped into P3. McLaren still might be able to score this one, too. Separate them and Absolute Savage right on the back of the sevens. Absolute Savage trying to make the move. Absolute Savage, much better pace on the straight. Takes P3 away from the sevens. Epic is catching the sevens too. That McLaren does not look... Yeah, the McLaren's looking like a sitting duck on the straights. Absolute Savage is now up into P3. He's going to need to try to cut time to inherit P2. Absolute Savage is 4.75 seconds. And Diego. Ooh, that was very, very close from Diego. The pressure getting to him, and that's Diego. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. We've got one lap of racing to decide the winner of this Grand Prix. What a race it's been in here in Hungary. DeGrom leads this race too far ahead for the sevens to make any dent on his absolute striking performance. And the sevens looking for a maiden win this time. Couldn't get it. Epic looking for a second podium in a row. His last podium in Greece. Absolute Savage and Epic fighting once again like they did in Greece. Epic's going to need to hold off the Red Bull behind him. As we've seen from the previous Grand Prix, Red Bull has an amazing straight line speed compared to the other cars here. Epic still staying ahead of Absolute Savage. Absolute Savage looking a little bit too wide. Epic goes just a little bit wide. He hasn't lost any time. DeGrom, though, on the back stretch. It's been a horrible race for McLaren. They've made it much more harder than they needed to. Hungary proves to be its amazing self once again dancing across the finish line. And for the first time ever, it's DeGrom who wins a race in that McLaren. And it looks like it's also going to be a McLaren 1-2 because the 7s crosses the line, makes it a McLaren 1-2. A first 1-2 in this season, an epic. Bravo to him. He takes P3 for the second time in a row, beating Absolute Savage to the line. And Caleb in the Aston Martin, P5.